These are called focus pads or hook and jab pads. They go on our hands and they catch, if you like, the punches. It's very important that the little dot here is right in the center of the palm of our hand so that when we get punched, our hand wraps round it, like so. Padding here and a bit of padding here in order to protect our hands so that we're best able to receive the punches. If you do have the benefit of exercising in pairs, one person has the pads, the other person has the gloves. And the person with the gloves will take the lead in the way they stand. So I'll ask Fran to take her stance and I will then copy that stance. Then what we need to do is I need to hold the pads for Fran at her best height. So I hold this dot level with Fran's shoulder. She's doing this punch at full range with the shoulder forward here, and I hold the pad still for her. I don't meet her punch because this is going to impact on her wrist. I hold it straight, and it's very important that I am in a stance here and that this is directly in front of my shoulder. It must not be here because this is going to injure my shoulder, and I hold the pad just like this. I pull my pads in when I don't want her to punch. When I want her to punch, I'll tell her which punches to do. 1, 2. And then I'll pull the pads away so that she doesn't punch them by mistake. Now, it's important that I make sure that my wrist is straight when I do this. And if I do this, my wrist is not straight. If Fran were to punch that, this is going to injure my wrist. So when I'm working with somebody much smaller, I need to adapt. Now pad positions for 3 and 4. Once again, I hold the dot level with Fran's shoulder and I hold it a little bit wider than her shoulder width. I have a bend in my arm, once again, because this is going to make sure that I don't injure my arm. So I hold them here for punches 3 and 4. 3 and 4. And again, 3, 4. Let's see just number 4 from there. Now for punches 5 and 6, I drop my pads down so that the dot is level with Fran's elbow here. So we've got punches 5 and 6 here. 5, 6. 5, 6. For punches 7 and 8, I put the pads central, not one on top of each other, but next to each other like this, and I put them level with Fran's shoulder height. This way, Fran has to go down and look for the dot, thus using her legs and expending more energy and burning more calories. I have a slight bend in my arm and my wrist is straight once again. 7, 8. 7, 8. Let's look at all of those punches slowly all together. 1, 2. 3, 4. 5, 6. 7, 8. Now we can do them quicker. And then I pull my pads in before we do the next move. Once you've mastered the punches statically, you can then introduce a little bit of movement. But it's very important that when you're learning this and practicing it for the first few times, that you don't try moving and punching at the same time. So I'll get Fran to do her punches, then we'll move, then we'll punch, then we'll move, then we'll punch separately, just like this. 1, 2, back. 1, 2, to me. 1, 2. Just like that. Now, when you can do that, you really should go to your class and get your technique checked and work with an instructor. Depending on the height of the puncher, you may want to either drop down to your knees or to bend your legs. But either way, the key point we're looking for here is that this dot is level with the shoulder and that my wrist is straight. 1, 2. 1, 2. When holding the pads, sometimes we have to make an adaptation to the abilities of the puncher. As you can see, Tom is sitting straight on in the chair rather than being sideways on in a stance, and he also applies his brake. Let's have 1, 2, Tom. And again. 1 more. Nice one.